Hey, so if you are migrating a website, a WordPress website, from one host to another, there's a couple questions that nobody thinks to ask you, and yet you really need to ask yourself and answer so that you're ready to make sure that you get the best migration possible. What am I talking about? Well, let's dig into the 5 questions that I think you need to know about, that you need to know, be able to ask yourself, and get the answers to. And the first is, did you install any non-WordPress applications into your site? Now you're going, wait a minute, I thought this is all about migrating a WordPress website. And it is. But if you were on a host that had cPanel, for example, and cPanel has that super cool area where it says apps, and you can click these other apps, it will embed other apps into your WordPress installation. And the problem is that might be housed in another set of files. It might be housed in another set of databases. And if the tools and the people involved in your migration don't know about it, they may not pick it up. That would be a problem for you when you get to the new location and discover that, oh my gosh, my stuff isn't here. It's because nobody knew it was there, right? So the first question is, did you add any non-WordPress applications into your site? The second question, very similar. Did you store any critical files outside of your WordPress installation? And you're going, wait, what does that mean? Well, you might have bought and downloaded some fonts to make your site look gorgeous, but instead of putting it in the web root because you didn't want other people to be able to download them, you put them outside the web root somewhere else. And you go, okay. Or maybe you had some special files that you were allowing people to purchase or download with special codes, but you put those outside the web root. The migration people and the migration tools might only look in your web root and miss those files. And even though there may only be 2 web font files, if they don't come with your website's going to look horrible. And you're going to get there and see a migrated site and go, this isn't right. So if you have any files that you've stored on purpose outside of your WordPress directory, that's something you should take note of and tell someone. The third question, what about scheduled tasks, right? Maybe you have a plugin like Yoast SEO that automatically creates some tasks, or maybe you've created some tasks like, hey, go through and remove this, after this many days, or I want you to make sure that you ping one of these pages every night at midnight, or you have a backup plugin that schedules the job to back up your website every night at midnight. Whatever it is, if you move the site over and no one resets up your cron jobs, they won't happen anymore. And you'll be left going, there's parts of my websites that seem like they're not working. I can't put my finger on why it's not working. And it was the cron job to begin with. So check and see. And if you're like, but how would I know if I have any cron jobs going on? WP Control, which is a funky word, but that plugin is built to not only have you install it on your site, but it will go find all the cron jobs that you created, that WordPress creates, and that other plugins created, and show it to you all. So you can plan for that in your migration. The fourth question, do you happen to have more than one WordPress web install in your single install? Now you're going, wait, that doesn't even make sense. I know, but you love WordPress so much that you put a little WordPress inside your WordPress. A lot of times what happens is someone will install your regular WordPress, right, at example.com, and then after the fact go, oh, you know what? I need a different WordPress website to do this one little thing. So I'll just stick it in a folder inside of the root. And so it'll be, example.com/application. And you put it there and then you run a whole nother thing there. The problem isn't moving all those files over. It's that second database attached to that second WordPress instance, nobody knows to even look for it. And it's named something like DB12685. No one even thinks that's part of the original install that they're trying to migrate. So if you have another WordPress website installed inside your WordPress website, let somebody know. And the fifth thing, and the last question is, what are you doing with your email? If you are at a site, if you're hosting with a host that has given you email and you have it all set up in one place, and then you migrate your website over, those emails won't come over. That's just not automatic, even though you think, well, it should be, but that's not how it works. Or if you have external email, but you are using your host to do the DNS records or what are called the MX records for email, that won't suddenly make it somewhere else, right? So you have to be thinking about email and think about where is it? How is it configured? It doesn't mean you have to know all the answers, but those are the questions you have to ask and chase down so you can get the answers and bring it to your new host and make sure that that's taken care of. Now, maybe you're using Google accounts for email, in which case you probably don't have to do anything, and then you'd be great. But those are the 5 questions you have to think about so that your migration is super easy.